Good morning, I'm Troy Coverdale with your latest. 2 people lost their lives and 18 sustained serious injuries in a 2-car collision last evening in Clay County. That crash occurred around 5:35 on K-15, approximately 15 miles south of Clay Center, according to the Highway Patrol. A 2013 Chevrolet Malibu driven by Deanna Hess of Clay Center was traveling southbound when it crossed the center line, colliding with a 2016 Chevy Impala on the driver's side. Hess, who was alone in the Malibu, was pronounced dead at the scene, the Highway Patrol confirming she was wearing a seatbelt at the time of the wreck. The Impala's driver, Lisa Stevenson of Salina, also lost her life at the scene. A passenger in that Impala, 13-year-old Raven Stevenson, suffered serious injuries and was transported to Salina Regional Health Center for treatment. A Manhattan woman spent the weekend behind bars after failing to appear in court for previously alleged crimes. 26-year-old Nicole Cochran was arrested by RCPD Friday evening on 1 count of failure to appear. The original charge against her was for interference with a law enforcement officer and felony obstruction. Cochran is being held at the Riley County Jail on a $20,000 bond. RCPD filed a report of burglary and criminal destruction of property around midnight Friday for an incident in the 700 block of Morrow Street. A 54-year-old and 41-year-old women were the victims, along with Evergy. RCPD reporting that the women's apartment had been broken into and cash taken, plus there was damage to both the door jamb and Evergy property on scene. The total loss is over $1,000. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact Crime Stoppers. Members of K-State's national meat judging team recently sharing their experiences on what it was like to bring a national title to the Little Apple. Meat judging coach Travis O'Quinn says K-State has had a storied history with this program.
We're very rapidly approaching 100 years of meat judging. In the competition, we have students. They compete in teams of 4, and they test their knowledge across a wide array of meat evaluation. That includes evaluating beef carcasses, lamb carcasses, pork carcasses.
O'Quinn was a recent guest on K-State Research and Extension's Agriculture Now podcast. More on the morning's headlines available to you at any time at newsradiokman.com and themercury.com. Good morning, I'm Troy Coverdale with your sports headlines. K-State football is headed back to Phoenix for a bowl game. As officials announced Sunday afternoon, the Wildcats have accepted an invitation to play the Rate Bowl at Chase Field, where they'll match up with Rutgers the day following Christmas. It marks the 19th time overall, the 8th time in a bowl game that the Wildcats will play in the state of Arizona. It's the 5th time that the Cats will play in what is now known as the Rate Bowl. It initially played in the game in 1993 when it was known as the Copper Bowl and took place in Tucson. K-State finished the regular season 8-4. It marked the 4th straight season the Cats have won at least 8 games. Terrence Ides buried 5 3-pointers and finished with 19 points. Ziana Walker scored a career-high 17. 13th-ranked K-State beat Texas A&M 89-50. Serena Sundell added 16 for K-State, who has won now 5 in a row. Tamira Poindexter's 3-pointer with 5:20 in the first quarter gave the Wildcats the lead for good, and they would go on a 17-2 run from that point. Matthew Wright kicked a 31-yard field goal that banked off the left upright as time expired, and the Chiefs survived another close game, beating the Chargers 19-17, clinching a 9th straight AFC West title. Kansas City has won 10 games by a 1-score margin this season and had to overcome the fact the Chargers scored on each of their 3 second-half drives. Have a great day. I'm Troy Coverdale.